And I'm going to start your reading right now. I'm not going to say any more. The first card you have for your past is the Five of Wands. Yeah, this is the messy card with everything going on, and there's no structure, there's no one in charge, and you can't really see, there's no focal point in this card. It's all a big mess. I am getting this feeling of being a bit lost in a crowd. Maybe you didn't feel heard. I think this is around work. I don't know if you work somewhere that employs a lot of people, but I think there was something you wanted to get across. It's some kind of idea or information or a complaint or something, and you just weren't feeling heard. There might be a lot of, I don't know, managers, middle managers, people in the middle, people in the way of you getting to the people who actually have a say in things, the people up top or whatever it is. It's something like that. There's like a hierarchy and you can't kind of get past a lot of people. You couldn't get through, you couldn't get your point across. I keep on feeling that. There are all these people in the way. I'm also seeing there might have been a lot of rules in the way, a lot of red tape and things making you stuck. I don't think it's terrible where you are, but there isn't a lot of freedom, or it might be that you're just not feeling freedom because of this kind of stuck thing that you're trying to get out. And I don't know if you've been thinking about working for yourself or maybe starting your own business, but I think I might have seen that before in your readings. If this is something you've always wanted to do, I think this frustration that you're feeling might be a sign actually showing you that you should at least look into doing this. You don't have to leave, you don't have to take out any big loans or anything dramatic like that. But if this is making sense to you, start looking into this, do a bit of research, maybe just make a start somewhere. You might be able to start this on the side, because I think this frustration that you're feeling might be a sign to show you to go in this other direction. That's what I'm seeing there. The next card you have your past is, the Hanged Man. Yeah, I'm getting a similar feeling in this card, having to wait, having to sit back and leave things, in other people's hands or something when, that was the absolutely last thing, or the absolute last thing, I should say, that you really felt like doing. You're a fire sign. You don't want to sit and wait. If you have an idea or, you want to change something or whatever, you don't want to wait. You want to move forward and do something, but you were being forced to wait. So it was really frustrating for you. I'm getting that in this as well. The other thing I'm seeing in this card is sacrifice. I think you might have had to sacrifice something in one area of your life to sort of enable you to do something else. I am seeing this might be a situation around love, and I think I'm feeling some disapproval around that. So it might be that someone, and I think it might be someone in your family actually, they might not approve of who you're with or, who you're in a relationship with. It's something like that, I think. And they're being a bit unfair actually, I think, because, your relationship's not perfect, but I don't know if this will make sense, but they might be judging what you're doing or this relationship that you're in by your past actions. I'm just getting this feeling of them thinking something like, oh, here we go again with them. Here's another disastrous situation. They're very negative about your relationship, and I think they might be a negative person generally, actually. You did make a lot of relationship mistakes in the past. Wow, everyone does. I do. I think there was one huge mistake I am seeing here where you might have felt trapped. Maybe you were even controlled by someone at one time, and they witnessed that. They saw that happen. It's relative. But, it's not like that for you now. Your life's completely different now. And, again, things aren't perfect, but this relative, I'm pretty sure it's a relative. They're judging your current situation against things that happened in your past. But that was a long time ago. Things are so different for you now. But yeah, I think the sacrifice might be that you're having to distance yourself from this relative, maybe not physically, but it might be, when you're around the person you're with, you might have to distance yourself, or it might be that you have to be careful of what you say to this relative about your relationship. So that's the kind of sacrifice. You can't be totally open with them. It's something like that. There's definitely a lot of tension now around this situation between your relationship and this relative. I'm picking up on a lot of tension there. So the last card you have your past, the Hermit. Okay, so I'm actually seeing someone, and I always see this person come up in your readings. I see them all the time coming up. It's a sort of love connection or a past love connection. I think you might have been seeing this person on and off, maybe in your past. It might be you're seeing them between relationships, might be something like that. They're not around you now, not physically anyway. They might even live quite far away from you, because I'm seeing a lot of your communication you've had with them has been, over the phone or texting. Okay, this might sound a bit strange, but I think you're destined to keep on seeing this person. They're going to be in and out of your life in some way all the time. I'm not necessarily seeing a relationship between you, but that doesn't mean you won't come together in that way. Again, you might or you might not, but you'll always be attached to this person in some way. That's what I'm seeing. I hope that makes sense to someone, because I know it sounds quite strange. They're always going to be a special person to you, and they're always going to be a part of your life in some way. They're not threatening. It's not like they're a stalker, and they're not going to be around you in that way. And I'm also getting this feeling that logistically, it might even be really difficult for you to get together with them properly if that's what you wanted to do. But what I'm feeling really strongly is that you're sort of destined to have this person in your life in some way. They're not going to interfere. If you're in another relationship, they're not going to come and bother that or interfere. It's not about that. It's just that they're in your energy, whether they're around you or not, and they always will be. That's what I'm seeing in that card. I hope that makes sense to someone. Right, so the first card you have your presence, the Two of Swords. Yeah, I think this relative probably is a parent. I think they might have spoken up about this love connection. They might have even, I think they might have even had some words with them. They might have been quite rude to them, actually. There's a lot of opposition in this card and in the Five of Wands as well. That can also be about a fight or a disagreement as well. So I can see why there's a sacrifice here, if this is all resonating, because it feels like you can see one without the other, but not both of them together. And I hate to say this, but I don't think either of these people are going to change. I'm actually seeing some kind of fight might have happened, or there were some angry words. And I think after that happened, I think it was just it for both of them. It's like, forget it. I'm not going to bother anymore. One's on one side and the other's on the other side. And, they're just not going to mix. It's just not going to happen. And that's sad, of course. But I think you're definitely better off keeping these people apart, at least for now, to stop anything escalating. Yeah, I can't see what's going to happen in the future, but definitely for now, you're better off keeping them apart. That's what I'm seeing. So, the next card you have for your presence, the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, I'm seeing a few things in this card. There's a lot of fear here. And obviously this is around finances, money. And this is following on from what I was seeing in the Five of Wands, I think. I'm getting this really frustrated feeling around your work again. Not in all areas of your work, but I keep on getting this feeling of not being heard and sort of feeling as if, no matter what you do or say, your voice just isn't heard, on important things anyway. And I think you're just mentally and emotionally turning your back on all of that for a while. You're not going to try and get your voice heard or anything. You're just going to get it out of your mind. You just want some balance back. You just want to break from worrying about all of this. The man on this card has his back to the town. He's trying to ignore all of that. And, you're still going to work. You're still going to be doing everything you're supposed to be doing, but maybe you're not going to be putting a lot of extra effort in. You're just going to be going in, doing your job, coming back again, because you're trying to get heard and you're not, and so it's like, well, I'm just going to do my job. So if you want to start this business or start working for yourself or whatever, also I think you might be a little bit worried about having to spend money on that. That's what I'm seeing in this card as well. I'm seeing you worrying specifically about maybe not having the right equipment. I don't think you'll need all of that to start with, though. Just start small. And as you start to get somewhere, as things progress, then you'll start to, then you'll be able to spend a bit as you get going and kind of spend more as you go along. So you don't have to worry about that. Try not to think in extreme ways around this. It's not about work in your job and that's it, or start a business and spend on this and that, get an office, get equipment. You can do a bit of both at the same time, and you don't need to spend a lot of money, especially at the beginning. So just ease into things. A lot of people do a bit of both. A lot of people have a business on the side until they build that up. So it's possible. A lot of people do that. So yeah, the last card you have for your present is Temperance. Yeah, I think you also have quite a few responsibilities. You have some people relying on you as well, maybe. So that might be worrying you as well about starting this business or whatever. But, again, don't let that stop you. If this becomes a success, and it definitely can become a success, if it does, you'll be able to help out even more than you are now. And also, you'll be a lot nicer to be around. I don't mean to be horrible, but you will be. You'll be a lot happier. I mean, you'll have so much more freedom and you'll be in charge of things yourself. So for a lot of reasons, you'll be it'll be much better for you and the people around you if you do break out and do this. This card can be about using your energy, using your knowledge, using your power to make a not so good situation into a new one or a better one. So, again, this is telling you to at least start on this. The other thing I'm seeing here is that, I think this relative I've seen in the Two of Swords, again, I think they're quite a negative person about a lot of things you do. I don't think they mean to be. I think they're trying to help you, but it's like they still see you as a teenager, I think, or even a child. And I think sometimes when they talk to you, it comes across as sounding a bit dismissive. You might come away from conversations with them feeling about 5 years old or something. They're really, really not the best person to share any plans with, especially plans you have for this business, because if you do tell them, if you say, oh, I'm going to do this business, I'm going to start this, what they'll do is, even though they're well-meaning, they really are, but what they'll do is they'll sit there and they'll point out everything that could possibly go wrong, even ridiculous things, every disaster that could possibly happen. And, by the end of the conversation, you'll end up feeling even more like the man in the Four of Pentacles, hugging himself, afraid to even move. So whatever you do, definitely bite your tongue if you feel like, if you're tempted to say anything to them about this business. Temper yourself. That's what this card is about as well, tempering yourself. So the first card you have for your future is the Knight of Pentacles. I'm seeing a few things in this as well. I think with this love connection, I actually think you have had quite a few ups and downs, actually. You've had a lot of problems, I think, especially in terms of communication. I think they can be very difficult to communicate with. Of course, neither of you are perfect. You've both had problems, but the thing that's standing out to me in this is that they do love you. I think they can struggle to show this to you sometimes, but they do definitely love you. I can see that. I think you're actually a bit like a light to them, a lighthouse or a lamp. You kind of help them, you guide them, you help them to find their way. And I think without you, they probably feel a little bit lost. That's what I'm seeing. If you're struggling in this relationship, I don't want this information to make you want to stay in a situation that isn't right for you, because I am actually feeling a little bit mixed around this relationship. You might be feeling the same way at this time, maybe that's why I'm picking up on this. But this is how they feel at this time anyway. They might even be a little bit dependent on you, a bit more than you'd like, maybe. There's a bit of imbalance around that I'm seeing. It is a little bit confusing, but what I'm seeing is they do love you. They see you as someone who guides them and who helps them. But I think you both know that there are probably quite a lot of changes. There are actually. There are some changes that have to be made in this relationship if things are going to move forward. I think you do have a few things to iron out, especially around communication. The next card you have for your future is the Ace of Swords. Yeah, here we are. This card's about clarity. Pure clarity, 100% clarity. So again, this is showing me that you'll really have to have some kind of talk, or something like that, some kind of talk, meeting, something to help you both to really fix up whatever these issues are. I know this might sound a bit harsh, but I think you're both going to have to take a lot of the emotion out of this talk and just talk about facts, talk about where you'd both like things to go, where you'd like to see things. There's definitely things or something big that needs to be sorted out here. One's communication, but my feeling is it might be something also that happened a while ago, and it hasn't been addressed properly. Because what this is this is a really hard thing. It's a hard thing to talk about. I think there also might be some kind of loss around this as well that hasn't been talked about properly. That's what I'm seeing there, but it's a hard talk, but it has to happen. That's what I'm seeing in that card. The last card you have for your future is the Three of Cups. Yeah, I think this is another message reminding you to stick to the facts when you have these talks, really do the work, stick to the hard subjects. Because I think, if you do that, then things will be a lot easier for you down the road as a couple. You'll be a lot more, be a lot happier, like the women on this card. And, if you look at the women on this card, they're holding their cups over their heads. And that's exactly what you want to avoid doing. You don't want to be doing that. You don't want to be putting your emotions above your head when you have these talks. And you also don't want to, or you also want to make sure, or you do want to, you want to make sure that you're working as a team. Don't feel as if you're against each other, that it's not like have your say and they have theirs and you argue. It's not like your side, their side, your side, it's not like that. You want to be working as a team, like all these women, they're dancing in the same direction. They're all doing the same thing. So work as a team as well. I don't mean for this to sound like I'm being harsh or bossy or telling you what to do, but whoever this resonates with, they need to hear this. They need to have these hard talks. They need to get their emotions out of this if they want this relationship to work and move forward. So I had to say that to whoever needs to hear this. So Sagittarius, I hope this resonated. But as you know, general readings can't always resonate with everyone. But again, if you like this reading, please like, subscribe, leave a comment if that's what you'd like to do. And thank you so much for watching.